Begin with the soles of your feet together, knees out wide. Inhale as you breathe, exhale as you fold forward. Holding this for about 5 breaths. Plant your feet on the ground and begin by working the opposite by dropping each knee inside the feet, going back and forth about 5 to 10 times. Once you've finished all of them, we'll warm up our core now. So dropping all the way back, lift up, and go for an oblique twist on each side. So dropping down, lifting up, hands behind your head, and twisting left and right. Let's aim for about 10 of these, so you're about halfway at this point. Breathing in through your nose, exhaling out of your nose. Making that ujjayi sound in the back of your throat. Once you've done 10, go ahead and move into Malasana Yogi Squat. Your heels are in, your toes are out, elbows pushing against the inside of your knees, rocking side to side. And go ahead and lift your heart, moving into a little shoulder opener and twist. Placing the left hand outside of the knee, reaching up with your arm, and switch sides. So right arm reaches over, left arm reaches up to the sky. Rocking side to side, really opening up the hips here. Moving into a little sequence I love to do. You're going to drop your knees forward and then lift using your core and your hips to open up into Malasana. So doing this about 10 times, reaching forward, squeeze your booty, come back to Malasana and begin again. So you're really using your hips and your core here. Also, you get into some feet flexibility. If you have some really tight feet, this might not feel the best, but it's really good for you. On your next inhale, stand all the way up, bringing hands to your hips. Exhale, forward folds. Bringing your peace fingers to your big toes. Take another inhale and exhale, forward fold. Rolling your spine one vertebrae at a time all the way to standing, and step to the front of your mat if you aren't already. Inhale the arms to the sky, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back your left foot so you come right into a runner's lunge, rocking front and back. If you have the flexibility, you can go ahead and drop onto the back knee, pulsing the right knee out to the right, back and forth. Inhale the right arm to the sky and grab the back foot for a quad stretch. Release the bind, straighten the right leg, go for the half-seated splits. And using your strength of the inner thighs, open up to Skandasana to the right. So from here, you're going to do 3 times each side, shifting over to the left, back to the right, and keep going 2 more times each side. If you can, don't use your hands. Once you've done your 3 on each side, simply turn to face the left side, the back of your mat, moving back into the runner lunge with the pulses front and back. So we're pretty much doing the same exact thing that we did on the other side, just getting into the left side of the hip. Moving the knee out and in. When you're ready, go ahead and inhale the left arm to the sky, reaching back for your right foot to get that quad stretch. Okay, moving into Ardha Hamanasana, half-seated splits. And again, doing your Skandasana hip opening flow, back and forth, right to left. Keep breathing. Let it burn. This is making you stronger. And once you've done your 6, inhale, stand all the way up to standing, dropping into a goddess squat. So we're pulsing up and down. Again, you're forcing your hips open, keeping the weight onto your heels. And again, let's go into some core. So we're doing some oblique crunches, tapping your right elbow to right knee, left elbow to left knee, back and forth. Doing 10 all together, so 5 each side. Once you've done that, stand up tall. Inhale, bring your hands to the hips, and we're gonna go for a wide-legged forward fold. Taking your hands to your ankles or to the ground or some blocks if you have them, and just hold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to hips, and step all the way up to the top of your mat. Moving into a balancing hip standing sequence. So beginning by taking your feet to hips width distance, moving into a squat, coming onto your toes if you can, and then drop all the way down to boat pose, and then stand all the way back up to the squat and stand up tall. So yoga squat, sit down, boat pose, come back to Malasana, chair, and stand tall. So doing this about 10 times. Back and forth, keep your breath, stay strong, keep rooted. Imagine there's a string pulling from your chest to the sky. So this is really working your core. And as you step up, use your hips to open up and stand tall. All right, moving into standing series. Let's shift our weight to the left side, grabbing your right big toe with your right peace fingers, holding this straight for about 3 breaths, and shift it open like you're opening a door, keeping your core strong, hips are open. Coming back through the center, waving open your right arm for the twist, and go ahead and straighten your forehead to your right knee. Moving into one-legged squat. So lifting your arms if you can. This is really working all parts of your hips, your core. Lift your arms if you can. Taking one last deep breath in the nose, exhale out the mouth. And stand up and release. You can shake out that leg before we move into the other side. Right, so standing tall into the right foot, grabbing the left big toe with the left peace fingers, straightening it out in front of you. Deep breath, and go ahead and open it up to the left, squeezing your glutes forward, opening up the hip, reaching out the right arm if you can, and then coming back towards the center, opening up into a twist. Moving into the forward fold, trying to touch your forehead to your knee. If you come out of it, you can just come back in. And last pose, moving into the one-legged squat, reaching your arms above you if you can. 3 deep breaths. And release, shaking that leg out. So good. We're almost done with this yoga flow for hips. Go ahead and take a forward fold, stepping back, moving through your first vinyasa, and push yourself back to child's pose. All right, we're gonna move into our biggest pose of the class, which is frog. So this pose, your knees are out in a 90-degree angle, your toes are flexed outwards, and you're going to try to hold this posture with your chest on the ground, or if you're not as flexible, you can use some blocks underneath your legs or your hands, and we're going to hold for 10 breaths. Rocking front and back if you can. Amazing. Slowly come out of this pose as slow as you can, however you need to, taking a back bend. And we're going to come into a twist, so we can kind of do the opposites of what you just did. So instead of opening up your hips, you're going to close the hips. So crossing your legs so your knees are stacked and your toes are outwards. Inhale your heart. Go ahead and take a forward fold. If you want to go for the arm bind, you can go ahead and wrap the opposite elbow underneath the arm. So if you have the right knee over, you're going to make the right arm go underneath the left and fold. This is very intense, so only go as far as you can go. Try it for a few breaths. You can come out if you need to. All right, release the wrap and go ahead and switch the bind with your legs. So now your left knee is on top of the right knee. Moving around to find that perfect position to where it feels good. Inhaling your heart. If you did the bind on the other side, go ahead and do it now. So if your left knee is on top, your left elbow is underneath the right. Holding this forward fold for about 5 breaths. This is your last pose of this yoga class, so make sure you're really breathing deep, getting into the hips, and release. All right. I'm gonna end the class with a seated meditation. You can go ahead and find your lotus pose or half lotus pose if your hips are warm enough. If not, you could just go into a cross-legged seated position, and we'll take about 10 deep breaths. Seated meditation, thinking about 3 things that you're grateful for. I like to do fire breath, so that's what I'm doing now. Go ahead and inhale. All right, releasing that breath. Bringing your hands to heart center, bowing your chin in gratitude. Namaste, my loves. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up, comment below, and subscribe to my channel, and I will be sure to make more videos like this. See ya.